Hey there YouTube, welcome back to another black powder update video. And today's video is a little bit special in the fact that I've finished my final French unit, which means I have now completely finished my Waterloo Starter set plus 2 Battalions of Infantry. So I'll start off immediately by bringing them in. Oh, that's completely wrong. That's the Grenadiers. I literally finished them like 10 minutes ago. And they have taken a fair amount of time. Okay, so let's just size that up. There they are. This particular unit is the, let's have a quick look, the 23rd Line Regiment, and I've stuck all the bits and pieces on the bottom there. So 23rd Line, you can see that it's from 3rd Corps, and that actually matches up with my Chasseurs de Cheval and my other 2 infantry units that I've done, my line infantry units. So in that sort of historical respect, they're kind of linked. So let's just start off by showing you through them like I normally do. So you'll notice that in these, the main difference between these and my others is that I decided to use the blue variation of long coat. I was looking through my paints and I managed to find French Mirage Blue, which happens to be the colour of the blue long coat. So I thought, hey, yes, I'll make these guys slightly different in the fact that I'll mix in a whole bunch of blue field coats along with the normal greys and the khakis. So I was pretty chuffed with the way that this particular colour came out. Actually, you can see there the classic metal figure that I was explaining in my last video, that because his musket sticks out, I kind of had no choice but to make him a Grenadier. But I was pretty chuffed with how these guys came out. I think they might even be like a little bit of a grade better than my other infantry units that I've painted, just because I've had like obviously three whole battalions worth of experience of painting them. And I also noticed that this guy has actually got a loaf of bread on his backpack and not a sort of some kind of plate, which I thought originally it was like one of those metal mess tins with or mess bowls with like some cloth wrapped around it, but it's actually a loaf of bread. So I actually managed to put that in this time. Like I say, this guy here is in grey, this guy here is in blue, so you can just see the subtle difference between them. So that's the Grenadiers. Another thing which I managed to do was remember to put the Voltiers on these mini stands this time. I actually, when I first started this unit, I actually spent ages carving figures off stands because I'd made so many rookie mistakes of putting epauletted figures mixed in with like normal regimental figures, that I basically had to take, like, I think I had to take both figures off one of these bases, and I decided to just remove the other 2 figures and change them into Voltiers to make the Voltiers have these sort of half bases. So this is the first bunch of them. I think they came out pretty cool actually. I think these guys have got, what are they? Oh, they've both got blue field coats, these guys. And I didn't bother painting trying to paint the motifs onto their ammo packs this time. I think I've done it for the Grenadiers, which if I go back to those for a second, you can see that I kind of roughly painted something in that kind of looks like a grenadier thing. I was going to try and do it to everyone, but I decided not to in the end. So this is the second stand of Waterloos. So here we have a blue and a khaki jacketed guy. And the infantry. So those. Next unit, next stand. And next up, the drummer and the sapper stand. Try and get to zoom in. Come on, zoom in. Focus rather. There we go. Slightly changed the colours on his drum this time. I decided to give the drummer white gloves this time. I think it looks quite cool. So that's the command stand, or not the command stand, the second part of the command stand. Now the main command stand, I had a problem with, I can't remember if I've explained the story, but when I was originally sticking all my infantry to bases, basically they're all stuck to bases, all primed and just literally white, and I had them all lined up on here, waiting to start painting the next day. And my cat decided to take a suicidal leap from 2 or 3 feet over in that direction, landing on here, and obviously caught this and basically slid the whole lot off into the chaos of my plastic and metal mountain down here, which is just off to the side, and it was absolute chaos. It was like there was broken muskets, there was figures off stands, there was flagpoles missing. It was an absolute nightmare. And the final conclusion of that, when I actually stuck everything back to bases and changed the figures that had broken muskets and etc, etc, I found that I had one of my warlord colonels from the command group go missing, and even though I tore everything out, I just couldn't find him. So I was basically down a colonel figure. So originally I was going to replace temporarily that colonel with the one from my Perry's plastic box, which would have ended up being this guy. And I did actually paint him, but in the end I ended up actually finding a box of actual infantry officers, line infantry officers from Perry's. So I picked up that box set and I replaced the colonel. So I was actually really chuffed with this guy that I decided to choose for the stand. So this is the command group. So you can see that colonel figure there. I think he's really cool. He's kind of got his long coat on his shoulder. Try and get a good shot of him. There we go. And then in the back we've got, again from Perry's, one of their Eagle protection party guards with the old halberd. I decided to put one of those on the stand for a change. They're quite cool figures. It's quite sort of regal, and it's got like double pistols and holsters on his front. I think it's a really cool figure. And of course the normal standard. And the rear facing lieutenant, or the rear party lieutenant. Get some excess flock off his scabbard there. So that is it. It's quite a small update this time, but like I said, if I just actually take the camera off the tripod for a second, and I stand up and spin the camera around, there is all of my black powder figures so far, and like I said, the finished box set, along with an extra unit of light infantry for the French and an extra unit of Hanoverians for the British. So that's basically the end of this video. Let's swing it back around again. I was actually looking at my subscriber count couple of days ago, and I see that I think I'm on 97 or 98. So what I was thinking of doing, because I'm getting quite near 100, is that if when I reach 100 subscribers, I'm going to try and do my film my black powder report. So hopefully that'll give me a bit of time to have a couple of practice games to try and get the rules down, and also decide upon an actual format for recording it, because my personal preference is I'd like to record each turn as it happens, including like moving the miniatures and seeing the dice roll, and then do that in chunks, so do a sort of video per turn, and then I can, because my editing skills aren't particularly amazing, I can actually just pin them together into one longer video. Or of course the other route, which I'm not so hot on but might be easier for me to record, is to just do like an end of turn update, and in the same sort of format. So basically just at the start of the turn, show the sort of status of the field, and then at the end of the turn, and then kind of explain what happened throughout. So I don't know if you want to put in the comments which sort of style you prefer. Now I'm basically, I've still got an extra unit of Chasseurs de Cheval and the box of Perrys, which I may well start getting ready to paint to add to my my French, and I do kind of I've already sort of worked out the sort of the basics of what I need to get to sort of go for my 2 battalion per side totals, and I think I've actually dropped the hints of to my family about getting me some black powder stuff for Christmas. So hopefully I'll get some things crossed off my list from that, and I think that leaves me with a relatively, hopefully will leave me with a relatively small amount to actually end up getting to actually complete the full 2 battalions. I think I could possibly just literally be a box of British infantry, i.e. Perry's British infantry, to actually be left to get. But let me just pin on to the end of this video. Let me actually show you the few things I did actually get from Perry's. Obviously you've seen the officer and the eagle bearer, but I did actually get, like I said, the infantry officers the Line Infantry Officer set, which I think is an awesome set. Let me just show you the figures. You get some really awesome officer figures in this set. So you got this really cool guy here holding a pistol. With obviously he's got sort of the bicorn, obviously, but I think he's a really cool figure. And this guy advancing with his sword sort of shouldered, which is really cool. This guy here, another sort of advancing officer, this sword drawn, really cool. And another bicorn officer with a drawing a sabre or a sword. And finally, this guy almost beat the one I chose to lead that Battalion of Infantry that I did. This guy here looking really awesome, sort of advancing in a long coat. So that is the Line Infantry box. I think they're really cool. I was very happy to come across those. Next up, we have the command party. Because I needed a extra command party, because I do kind of hope to be able to create 2 units of line infantry from the Parry's box and mix in some leftover Warlord figures. This is a really cool command set. It comes with here's the Eagle Bearer guy. Drummer. It's nice to have some long coated figures mixed in, because obviously you know, a lot of them obviously fought in long coats, but it's nice to have just for colour variation you know, some infantry in normal dress kit. And you can see that they've actually got the long jackets on the back of the backpack there. So that's the other Eagle Bearer or Eagle Protector. And then we have a really cool sapper with a slightly different designed axe, but he does have the long sword. And finally the officer, which again is a really cool positioned officer. I don't know if he's actually repeated from the officer pack, but he's pretty cool all the same. So that's the command pack. Then the final thing I got was I planned to get some Victrix British and French cannons, and you get 3 cannons in a pack, and I've already got a British cannon from the starter set, so I thought I would pick up a French cannon so that I can actually have I can make 2 batteries of 2 cannons for each side. So I picked up a French cannon with the crew in long coats to make a bit of difference, because I believe the Victrix ones aren't in long coats, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that's my little Perry's haul just pinned on to the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not sure when I'll be back for another video of any sort, really. I've kind of like I say, I've kind of finished my black powder for the minute, but I might well start like basing and undercoating stuff, which is kind of tedious, and I may not feel like painting those guys straight away. And I have been painting pretty hardcore for the last week and a half trying to finish these guys. So I suppose my next video may well be some kind, who knows, maybe I'll just do the battle report before I get to 100 subscribers, but I'll see how I feel. Anyway, until next time, catch you later.